Right.
Right. Any hysteria today from
Hysteria?
you? No.
Well, we're rolling, aren't we? No, I'm going to be very well. Sorry, we've already fucked it up. Sorry, I'm not allowed to say fuck anymore.
You just said it second time.
Right. Hello and welcome to Club Sandwich with me, Jordan.
And me, Henry Southern.
Keep going.
You really threw me off there. Before we get started, make sure to hit follow wherever you're listening so you can be the first to hear about every new episode.
And a fantastic thing is, if you go onto TikTok now, we are at Club Sandwich.
I know.
We're the official Club Sandwich in the whole world.
We are the voices for club sandwiches all around the world.
We are indeed. And also, if you were that fan we met earlier, hello.
Hello. Yes.
Welcome.
And we kind of... I hope we didn't forcefully make her subscribe to Club Sandwich. She was speaking to us about Big Brother, like, oh yeah, Big Brother, that was years ago.
Yeah.
Club Sandwich, come on, add it. And
We've disowned that. But yes, I hope you found the Club Sandwich podcast on the App Store, because she was on the App Store typing it in.
Yeah. Do you want to reveal this week's theme?
Yeah, this week's theme is schooling. We're going back to school.
We got very nostalgic over dinner, didn't we? And we thought this would be a great theme for the podcast.
I mean, we were a few wines down.
We were. I think that was in the 8-hour freedom stint, actually, wasn't it?
Yes.
It's funny what
let's not
put your mind to it.
That's historic too.
The headlines. Rident stolidi verba Latina. Or if you haven't been practicing your ancient Latin, that means fools laugh at the Latin language.
Ancient Latin?
Yeah.
Well, is there a distinction between modern and ancient Latin?
Well, Latin language is just like a combination of... Anyway.
Headlines, we'll get onto that. We ask, what would our teachers think of us now?
And we unpack our lunch boxes.
And I just nipped to Waitrose and got some cute little plastic boxes for our little sandwiches. But we don't know what each other's brought the other. So
no, we don't.
Right, so tell us about your school life.
Well... this might come as a huge shock to everyone, but I went to a bit of a posh school, to be honest.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
One where you stayed over.
Oh my, oh gosh.
And we had a matron who did our washing and all sorts. It was a bit crazy. But we also got put through hell.
No one's shocked.
As you've heard on a previous episode, getting put onto army camps and everything. It was terrifying.
I mean, let's think back to Henry's Big Brother VT.
Shut up.
I hope there's a matron in the house.
I had to get on the show somehow.
Well, it worked.
I mean, how about you?
Worst performing school in the area. Get the violins out. Loads of people in prison now. Loads of people encumbered by many, many children. But I'm sure they love them. I'm glad not to be in... Oh, no. Yes. No, I shouldn't slag them off. What if they won't listen to this?
No.
But no, yeah, the school was a shithole. Teachers were fornicating in lifts. Teachers were having breakdowns.
You're joking?
I'm not joking, no. And people were just all at it. Teachers were pushing kids. Kids were pushing teachers. They were doing this, that, and everything. But I came out as a gem.
What? Oh, God. That was a hell of a laugh.
I mean, is it true?
I mean, I had teachers at school that I don't know how it like worked, but somehow they taught people's parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. I thought, how old are these people?
I know. Keep it in the family, why don't you?
Yeah, I know.
And then you found this little rough, scunny lad.
A rough, scunny
/ Grimsby lad.
Yeah, Jordan, I mean, you don't really sound like you went to the roughest school in Scunthorpe. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, you don't really sound as if you went to one of the poshest schools in the country. Okay. Yeah, you do. But telling you about that, well, I watched Downton Abbey one Christmas. I saw Dame Maggie Smith, God rest her soul.
Yes.
That's adding to the tally of dead people we mentioned on the podcast. But she died in Chelsea and Westminster, and we could see that from our old place, couldn't we?
I know.
Anyway, and she did this funny thing with a card, and I thought, let's just watch this. And I thought, wow, amazing.
Abbey.
Yes. When I was encouraged, I thought, I'm thinking a lot here. But I just wanted to change my life. Yes. And so I did it.
And look at you now.
Yeah, I'm like almost transgressing now.
In a flamboyant shirt, hosting a podcast with your man.
And who bought me this shirt?
I know, I did buy you that shirt.
Henry and I did talk earlier about dressing up in school uniform for this episode.
Yeah,
but
that
I
would have
think
been a bit creepy.
That is rather creepy. Did you ever at university have those nights called school days or something?
No.
Really?
I saw people dressed. No, I wasn't really a proper student, to be fair. I was a bit of an anomaly. But I would see people having lots of fun dressed as like golfers for some reason.
Yes. Oh, like the pub goals thing.
I don't know what that means.
Well, they go from.
I think you were more of a
pub to pub
student
to pub.
lad than I was.
Yeah, but then I got bored of it. I just, I had to embrace it in the end. But school
Anyway, maybe
days,
this needs to be a university episode.
Oh no, God!
This
Maybe
is
we
a schooling
say.
episode.
But could I just mention school days?
Yeah.
So everyone dresses up as a kid, which is odd, and then they go into a club. But one of my memories is all the lads, the uni lads, would dress up as school girls, and I saw them, and one of them absolutely stank.
What, and that's really stayed with you.
That has stayed with me.
Oh God!
And I just thought, oh my.
What did it smell like?
Oh, it's putrid.
I have to say the one thing. So I did do freshers, and I think I was violently ill for like weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
And I remember someone standing up on the table at like the first event. This like big brash bloke, and he just shouted at the top of his lungs. He said, "Who's ready to get shit-faced?" And then
mind your language.
essentially said something along the lines of, "If you went to private school, fuck off." And I was like, okay.
Well, you went to public school, technically. That's one above private school.
I mean, I'm not asking for the violins, but I was like, it's interesting. A lot of people keep it a secret when they go into life, but I don't.
No.
Because I think it's just
Yeah. I don't think you could conceal
better to be honest with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got no chance of hiding that, Henry. But anyway,
But if you, over Christmas, I find it really funny where, anyway, I won't even mention that. But people say that you find out at Christmas when you suddenly realise that this kind of person that's kind of cosplayed as something that they're not will return to their like family home in Surrey.
Oh,
and all of
yes,
a sudden,
yes.
you
so
realise.
they walk around East London with their Ali G tracksuits. Like, I'm from East London, but then they go home to this Surrey mansion.
Yeah.
It's like, you lying fucking twat. Right.
Jesus
But so am I.
Christ.
So, sorry, I had to swear because I've had another warning about my swearing on this podcast. So I had to get it out there. But anyway, what about those people who peak at school?
Oh, I think it's quite cool, the dynamic. It's interesting, like the dynamics when you're at school, when you, like all the cool kids.
Yeah.
I don't know, like no, in my personal experience, I find all like the really cool kids that everyone used to bow down to haven't really like amounted to much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to name
They kind of
them
peaked at school.
by name, but let's say, for instance, at my school there was a Ronaldo, not actually called Ronaldo. But you thought, oh, Ronaldo's so ace, he knows the football, oh, he's great.
Yeah.
And now he just packs fish fingers.
How do you know he packs fish fingers?
I don't, well, but anyway,
might
whereas
be
the
it.
dweeby little Jordan
Yes,
is
and
sat
Dweeby
here.
Henry.
Yeah, was sat here hosting Club Sandwich. Give us a follow and 5 stars.
Shut up. I'm reading something on my notes here that says dreams of school trauma.
don't you
I
have
didn't put
these?
that down. Have you
No,
put that-
well, I put this down because don't you have this where you dream about being back at school?
No.
I always dream about being back in.
I've never dreamt of being back at school.
I do. Maybe it's trauma and I need to see a therapist. But there's this, like, I always dream about being in year 10, 11 maths class. And the irritant.
Surely that's a nightmare, not a dream.
Yeah, well, yeah, a nightmare. And there's just this maths teacher there going, and I in my head, I have the knowledge I have right now. And so I'm thinking, why the fuck am I here? This is not me. I've leveled up above this. And then I wake up and think, oh, it was just
Were you good at maths?
Well, when I was in year 5, they sat me on the year 6 table.
Oh, bloody hell.
I know, yeah. Life achievement.
Listeners, viewers, I must say, Jordan was actually a very smart cookie. Like you did very well in all your exams and went to like a very good
Yeah,
university.
GCSE less so.
Scunny lad done good.
Because I thought it was boring. But then A-level, that's when I really came into my own.
Yeah.
I really wanted to study Latin at A-level.
Yeah, we'll get onto
But
that.
they didn't offer that in Grimsby. But yeah, we will get onto that. Anyway, so what would our teachers think of us now? This is the themed question of the week.
I don't think my teachers would be that surprised, to be honest, because I actually had a run-in with one of my old geography teachers a few years ago. And
is this the one your friend saw on Grindr?
No, not that one.
Am I allowed to mention that? After he was of age, all right?
Oh, funny. No, not that one.
Henry wants to kick me right now.
This was a lady, and actually, I'll give her a shout. Her name is Mrs. Mackenzie. She was my geography teacher at the time.
She sounds lovely.
She I bumped into her a few years ago, and I mean, I'd forgotten all about this, but she said, Henry, the one thing I'll remember about you, and I laugh about it every year, is you came up to me with the straightest face and said, Miss, why have they put the exam on Ascot week? And in hindsight, that's just so outrageous.
I know,
Imagine.
to put the exam on the same week as Ascot, the inconsiderate
Do they
bastards.
not take into account the social calendar?
The
it's
anarchists.
ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's awful.
So what would she think of you now?
I know, you know what's quite
She'd
funny?
be proud of you.
We had to work around it. So this is actually outrageous.
Yes.
I came out of the exam hall. There was a car waiting. And I got in and we went straight to the race. I went straight to the race. It was a lot of fun.
Didn't you tell me that story once of having a geography trip, because geography teacher, around East London?
Oh, no. It was, in hindsight, it's really bad. We did a geography trip where we went to the most deprived and then the least deprived boroughs in London, which I think at the time was Canning Town was the most deprived borough, and then Richmond upon Thames was the least. And we had to like go and do like surveys. Thinking of all these little like preppy posh kids like going down Canning Town High Street, like, oh, count how many gambling shops are down here. Like, it's just awful. Like, what the hell were they thinking? Yeah.
Gosh, well,
I know.
It's why you're so inclusive nowadays.
Yeah. Did you go on many like school trips?
Did I go on? No, we didn't have the budget, darling.
Really?
I think we went to a farm once.
I did Iceland. Did Costa Rica.
We did Lincoln. That's down the road from Grimsby.
I got very emotionally attached to a sloth in Costa Rica. I think let's
contextualize my school a bit more. Some person, she couldn't get her trip letter signed because she doesn't have pens at home. And so the teacher said to her, oh, just get your mum to scribble in lipstick or use blood if you need to. But
a slip to go where? To Lincoln?
Like to get the trip form signed. But to go back to what would our teachers think of us now, once I left Big Brother, my mum obviously did a post on Facebook.
Yes.
And or did I do a post? I don't know. But the teachers were
commenting. Don't out yourself as having a Facebook.
I don't have a Facebook account in my own name. But the teachers were commenting, saying, oh, this is not what I expected at all. Because you've got to appreciate, people thought I was going to be this barrister, and then I went into Big Brother.
You're a smart cookie. Threw it all down the drain.
I know, I couldn't be arsed.
Trashy reality telly.
Life's too short. Could be dead tomorrow. Touch wood. I know where the wood is now.
Yes, it's right behind you.
Right, so moving on to the next segment. This is Cheesed Off, where Henry and I have a rant. Henry, you're up.
Henry, you're up. My prepared peeve is learning Latin at school. It's just ridiculous.
I take umbrage to this because I always wanted to learn Latin.
But they would say, oh, you'll find it very useful in future life. What? When they invent a time machine?
Well, you're mentioning it now.
Back to like that time.
Your Latin teachers gave you content for this podcast.
Oh, it was just absolutely useless. And also, we had the scariest Latin teacher, who now I look back and I see is like almost like a Monty Python character. Like
haven't you compared him to me though in the past?
Yeah, he does. Scary. You give scary teacher energy. Jordan has been compared to Severus Snape many times.
Because when I was a kid, I wanted to sound like Alan Rickman.
Oh, did you?
I thought he was brilliant.
Oh,
When he died, I was in a Chinese takeaway.
what?
It was lunchtime. Anyway,
Oh, another
I'm sure I've told that anecdote. Another one dead.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it's just so.
How did you do
what's
in
the
Latin,
point?
though? What did you do? Is it just like any other language you learn at school?
It was terrifying. So you'd have to learn like certain phrases and sentences each week, and you'd all be sat down, and he wouldn't come to everyone every week to like stand up to recite it.
Yeah.
So if you hadn't learnt it properly, you just have to really hope you weren't chosen. And he would just call out a name, he'd be like, Southern. And you stand up and you're like...
How would you describe him? What does he look like physically?
He was...
I mean, he might be deceased now.
tall. He wore a three-piece suit with like a waistcoat.
Oh, he sounds fun.
But in hindsight, I think if he was playing this act of this like hilarious teacher, because he would genuinely like threaten to throw you out the window.
Really?
Like full on, like Miss Trunchbull style, pigtails swinging round.
Do you think he still is alive?
I don't know.
We could get him in as a guest
Yeah.
or something. Henry's former Latin teacher.
Mr. Williamson, if you're there.
If you're there. What is it? Beyond the grave.
Yeah, and I remember a school inspector once came and collected me from the Latin lesson.
Yeah.
Said, "Oh, could we speak to Henry and whatever?" And he said, "I hope you're going to tell them how much Latin has like hugely enriched your life."
And has it?
No, it hasn't. What's your prepared peeve?
My prepared peeve is PE lessons. Why the heck do you need PE lessons?
In the winter, that was rough.
I know, and all my PE teachers did was toss a ball in our direction and say, "Oh, sort yourself out." And then you go through the whole cringe ordeal of being picked for teams. And Alex Thornton and I were always like in the last two.
Who's Alex Thornton?
A guy I sometimes have dreams about to this day. Not in that
what?
way, not in that way. No, he was this kid. He was a good friend of mine.
Why are you dreaming of other boys?
I'm thinking, where is he nowadays? What does he look like? What does he do? Who is he? Who am I?
You're not on Who Do You Think You Are? Or
No,
something.
but we were always like the last.
Davina, we need you.
Alex, write in if you're listening. But it's just, I hated PE. I thought it was terrible. And
Getting picked last is always a bit...
yeah, changing rooms, teachers, and the PE teacher was one of them. That was the one who was shagging another teacher in a lift. Sorry, fornicating with.
Of course it would be the PE teacher.
He's a very active person. But yeah, I just hated them. And it was all, I liked hockey, because hockey you had a stick.
Okay.
And so you could like almost social
I
distance.
liked racket sports, like tennis and squash.
Oh, we couldn't afford the equipment for that. I mean, the best my school had was some AstroTurf.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that was quite posh.
Is that what you did hockey on?
Yeah, hockey, football, you name it, we did it. And then rugby, we did that on the field, and that was just all muddy and horrid. And
Yeah.
and carrying around your PE kit, it was just, I hated PE lessons. I took triple science to get out of PE lessons in year 11. I could not do triple science. And because you didn't play with Bunsen burners or anything, so I didn't hold my interest. And so I fucked that off. But I still was able to sit in the triple science lessons whilst PE lessons were ongoing.
Okay.
So for little year 11 me, that was
That's
just
good.
amazing.
Me, I think one of the greatest things I did at school was me and my two like very good friends from school, still besties now. That we were like the gay trinity of our house. Like our house, like there was something powerful.
Because of course you had the house system, didn't you?
Yes, and we were like, right, we're not. This was in our last year before we left, and I think it was like the last month. We're not leaving the school without going to play a serious football game, and so we demanded that we were put on to like a very serious like match that we could go and play. And we turned up with a speaker blasting Lady Gaga's unreleased song about football. And that people weren't intimidated on our arrival.
Well, I mean, you surprised
I
me.
spent the whole time screaming and like running away from the ball rather than towards it. It was all a bit of an ordeal.
But it's a thing, it's a trope in TV shows though. Waterloo Road, Glee, it's always the jocks who are secretly gay.
Oh, Oh, that's the first Jordan's a big Waterloo Road fan.
I know, new series comes out, I think, next week. They follow me on Instagram. So. But anyway, I think PE lessons. If you went back to school now, would you rather get rid of PE lessons or Latin lessons?
I feel like PE lessons I'd use just as a break from...
Well, what would you do?
Nothing much, really.
But wouldn't someone say, Henry, come on, move, boy, move?
I suppose it's more interesting having learned Latin, and some people are interested but even though it's useless,
as am I,
and it's a dead language.
Yeah, but still, in everyday, Mary Beard, another shout out to her. She adores Latin.
Fine. Well, let's put PE lessons on the chopping board.
So PE lessons are now chopped.
Yes.
So many kids are applauding, like, yay, Jordan, you're my savior. You got rid of PE lessons. Right, you.
Time for slices of our lives. What's been happening since the last week?
Well, what's been happening?
Yeah, you tell me.
Part 3 of the moving trilogy. We got an Addison...
I feel like all we bloody talk about on these episodes is us moving house.
I know, this is the last part.
We finally moved.
Yeah, so it's like Lord of the Rings. This is the last film right now.
And this
Addison
is Return of the King.
Yeah, don't mention the company, actually, because they might work with us in future. But the company who...
I think you already did.
Whatever. Addie Lee.
I don't want to sound like a drama queen, but I'm very traumatized by the whole packing.
So am I.
It's horrible.
We didn't know how
many
much stuff...
tote bags does one man fucking need?
I know.
I counted like maybe 55 tote bags.
So if we seem a bit melancholic this episode, it's because of all the packing. It's taken us
just horrendous.
Like 3-4 days to pack stuff. Where the fuck this stuff came from, we don't know.
I don't know. What you get sentimental over random shite, don't you? I thought I threw away loads because I was getting bin bags. Then I turned around and I was like, oh my God, I swear that pile's getting bigger and bigger.
And then we've been using Addison Lee's, but the people who have been driving us just stand there watching.
Yeah, but you know what? I've discussed this with people and I think they're just a courier. I think they're... can you say a man with a van? Is that a thing?
Right, yeah.
Are you allowed to say that?
A person with a van.
Yeah.
A person with an automobile.
I think it's a man with a van rather than a man and a van. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I just take the van, get rid of the man. He didn't do anything.
Exactly. Oh, that's what we had. That's what we signed up for.
But the fact he just stood there looking at us, telling us about his bad back.
Yeah.
Whilst we're we're endangering our own back.
But can I just say, Jordan is actually a domestic goddess. You are very good.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I will give you that credit. You are very good at
all the
that kind of
flutes
stuff.
were wrapped in newspapers. I don't know why we have so many fucking flutes. Who's coming round?
The other day when we bought so much stuff in, I collapsed on the sofa with gin and tonic, and you just started unpacking things. I was like, what?
I had my little tequila sunrise and I was just getting everything packed, unpacked.
Yeah. We look like we'd been through the trenches when we got back.
It's just, especially when we're reliant on lifts. So lifts to get the stuff out, then lifts to get it in.
And the lift doors close. Like,
yes.
Like it's worse than the tube doors.
The lift doors at our new place
If you put
are
your
perilous.
even if you try and very slickly put your arm in to open it won't. It'll just chop your hand.
Yeah, and I was quite vocal earlier with the lifts.
You did.
Yeah.
I don't think any of our neighbours heard, luckily.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear anything from them either, so. But no, thankfully we're all packed.
Yeah.
Everything's in boxes in the new place, but at least the old place,
Yes.
give us our deposit back. Or as my mum randomly called it, bond.
A bond?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, would you ever refer to your deposit and your tenancy as a bond?
I wouldn't.
I said my mum's been to the US once and now she calls it a bond. And she said, well, it's what we do in the Northeast. I said, what, Northeast USA? Okay. And Henry, you've had a haircut, haven't you?
I've had a haircut. I must say it is a bit windswept today, but it was long overdue, actually, I think.
How did you find the haircut experience?
What do you mean?
Oh, Abby's laughing. She also had a haircut. Abby on camera too.
I found it great. What do you think about sort of haircut small talk? It was an interesting one. I think maybe the first half of my haircut, we had a lot of conversation, and then I think it hit a bit of a a slump.
Yeah.
And then the remaining sort of 15 minutes were in like dead silence.
I mean, bringing it back to the schooling, in English language, I was taught that hairdressers know phatic communication.
What?
So it's basically hollow communication to just pass the time.
Oh.
But if the hairdresser's not giving me that conversation, I'm like, shit, is it my duty now to take a stand and talk on their behalf and make conversation? Because it's haircuts are intimate experiences, aren't
And
they?
like, what are you allowed to do? Are you allowed to be on your phone?
Yeah,
Like, are you
yes.
allowed to like? Because I'm too scared to get my phone out.
Yeah.
Are
And
you on your phone?
No, because I'm too scared to get it out too.
And they make you a drink at the start.
But then how do you get the
And
drink
then how
out
do
if
you
you're
get the
gowned?
drink while they're cutting your hair? These are all any hairdressers out there, can you write in what is hairdresser etiquette?
I would genuinely feel more confident,
Yes.
like in a hospital procedure,
Yeah.
having a drink or something.
And you know when a
But
bit of
when
hair
they're
like
around your
piles
head.
up on your little cloak.
Do you just
And you're like-
oof, oof, oof.
Yeah, it'd be good to know.
And of
more
course,
about
because
this.
I don't know the intimacies of hair cutting,
Yeah.
the art of hair cutting, I didn't study that at school. Bringing it back
Oh,
to the
and
theme.
I just show a photo of
Yeah.
a photo of me before with my haircut, but they're like, "Oh, do you want XYZ 1, 2, 4, 5, 6? What
But
do you?"
also, like, because I don't know the art, I don't know the process, so I don't know what
neither.
he's doing
Yeah.
that for, or what she's doing that for, etc.,
Yes.
etc. And I'm like, is it over? Is it not over? You think it's over? There's
Darling, I
another
think
hour.
we're overthinking this.
Yeah.
I think we are.
Yeah, well, as I said, it's an intimate experience. But haircuts at school.
Yes, I mean, you used to be. I mean,
The Harry Styles of Grimsby,
The
as
Harry
somebody said.
Styles of Grimsby.
In the last episode, I just had huge frizzy
Can you
hair.
show that? Can you show that picture, please?
Which, well,
If
this
you
is
don't,
not
I will.
Well, this is not the best of the pictures.
No, show the one that you said got loads of girls wanting to.
Oh, I had so many
friend
Facebook
requests on-
friend requests when I
Oh, the
just
ladies'
allow
man.
me to. Well, it's not that one.
No, oh gosh. That's
Do you know in the background?
Yeah.
I cut out all that stuff. No, the teacher when they were getting rid of displays, I was like, could I take that?
Very
Because I wanted to
sweet.
be learned. But no, the Harry Styles of Grimsby is a. Have you got something to show? It's show and tell right now.
Oh, is it?
But no, that's when I was the Harry Styles. That's actually at
show the
college.
camera. Show the camera. Look at that.
I got so many friend requests, and then they saw me in person, and it was like, no, not with that nose.
What a man. I had a few. I don't know if I've even got a. I haven't got like a school one like that.
Where were you in your preppy uniform?
Oh, I don't think I've got anything to show you. I should have got my mum involved.
Well, you've disappointed.
Maybe we can do this as a social media thing.
Okay, social media exclusive.
Oh,
coming
actually, no. What I can show is.
what?
No, what I can. Yes. Yeah. People found it very funny on social media, the difference in what we looked like when we were. They couldn't believe that these two people had ended up finding each other together. Jordan had an emo phase. He was emo Jordan.
Yeah.
I still need to find more emo Jordan pictures.
Well, they're out there, darling.
So this boy right here, emo Jordan, somehow
Butter wouldn't melt.
found the croquet
Absolutely.
playing preppy knobhead.
Yeah. You do
How
look
did that
like a
happen?
knobhead on that.
Look at that. What a comparison.
And you know they were destined to be.
Yeah.
The end.
Look at us now.
But one last thing on haircuts. I was always so embarrassed about going into school having had a haircut.
Yeah. My dad would say plenty on the floor. Like I'd always want to go with my mum, but if my mum couldn't do it for whatever reason,
Yeah.
my dad would take me, and we'd often get to the point where I'd finish, and then he'd go, "Oh no, you've still got far."
I'm having a bit of a panic attack right now because I've just remembered one thing about hair in school.
What?
Head lice. Oh. Oh,
Do you have
God.
head lice?
No,
All right.
but I might have known someone who did.
Oh, a friend of a friend.
Yeah, a friend of a friend of a friend. But the little bugs in your... It's just disgusting, isn't it?
I don't think I had head lice.
Never. Well, you always
Maybe I
wore
did.
the little bowler hat thing.
Pull hats.
The Reptonian.
Shut up. What else? We've done this. Oh, I've got here apartment living versus street condo.
So, yeah, so how are you finding?
Condo, that's very American.
Well, I didn't know what else to
Did you hear
describe
from
it.
your mother?
Yeah, probably. My mum's now Americanized. But do you prefer living high up? Because we are quite high up, relatively speaking.
Yeah,
There are no sirens.
there are no sirens. It's a lot cozier, isn't it?
Yeah, cozier, feels
enjoying
safer.
it. Yeah.
People aren't being shot just outside the door. Well, Henry and I once left our old place and there was a trail of blood leading to the hospital.
We were right by a hospital and there was like a trail of blood.
Yeah.
Oh, teachers.
Yeah. Would you ever be a teacher?
No, I do not have the patience.
Because when I was younger, I don't even think you know this. I always wanted to be a teacher.
Really?
Like I used to role play with my friends being teachers.
Oh.
Not in a weird way. But in a just, I like the structure of school.
Yes.
But
No, I
wouldn't want to
I've
be.
got a couple of friends who are teachers and they look far too stressed.
Because despite the lovely adverts they put on TV, teach first and stuff, you don't get to choose where you go, do you? Well, I guess you do somewhat, but you don't like the specific school.
I mean, also just like, I feel like kids can be horrible at a certain age as well.
Yes.
Like they're like really nasty and
kids, like they just watch, don't they? They're trying to pick up on the flaws.
And also,
I saw you smoking a cigarette, sir.
I wouldn't want to become like what I used to sort of dislike. Like,
I was a little bastard when I was a kid. Because if I called a teacher smoking, I would be like, I'd be spreading it around the school.
Oh.
Like I saw Mrs. X smoking.
Come on. You got to let them have their solitary cigarettes.
Yeah, but, I was worried about their health. But no, we were teachers once in Big Brother, weren't we?
We were. There was a task on Big Brother where we were teachers for the day. Slightly traumatic because Jordan got fake evicted that day.
Yeah.
But you played the role very well.
Oh, thank you.
You kind of went very Meryl Streep method acting.
I mean, yeah.
As part of that.
On par with the Club Sandwich trailer.
I went for a very different approach of I would retaliate. So like, I think someone threw a wet towel at me as the teacher.
Oh, they were being awful, weren't they?
And then so I like one-upped them and got like an egg and chucked it at them.
You taught wine for beginners. I taught law for beginners.
Yes.
Never again. Moving on.
Club counselling.
Yeah, club counselling. Yeah. So this is where we therapize you. Yeah. And Henry...
Although I love, people were pointing out the last week that someone sent it in and we were like, oh, that sounds like a you problem, Jane. It's like, we're asking people.
Can only be honest. What more do they want?
Shall I read them?
Distribute the problems.
This is from Chris.
Hello.
Hi.
It's not my mum's partner, is it? Beyonce.
Hi. Love the pod. Thank you very much. You're both hilarious. The other day, my friend was weirded out that my snack of choice for a movie night in was to open a jar of gherkins or cornichons. What the fuck's that?
What is a cornichon?
What is a cornichon? Can you Google it? Cornichon? Cornichon? Cornichon.
The production team are laughing.
Since they were small.
I don't know why.
Are they like mini gherkins? I'm getting a nod. They're mini gherkins.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
You should know, Henry.
I know I should, but I don't.
But you don't like them anyway, do you?
No, we'll get onto that.
Henry orders plain cheeseburgers from
Oh,
McDonald's.
shut up. And eat them with a fork. I also like to pour a bit of the brine into a glass and sip it.
Okay, that's where it becomes weird.
She thinks this is incredibly weird.
Yeah.
She's got a fucking point, Chris. But I want to know your thoughts. And is there anything either of you eat straight out the jar? The best, Chris. Chris, I personally am quite opposed to gherkins in general. I find
I'm not.
there's something a bit too phallic about them. There's the fact they're all just like...
So you don't eat sausages? You love a sausage, Henry.
No, but not the one, like, I wouldn't eat a jarred sausage.
No, nor would I.
You know, like the Frankfurters in like the jars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything that kind of bobs and floats about, I get very stressed about. Now, drinking the brine, funny enough, isn't actually my main issue because dirty martinis, like it's just a martini.
You would never get a dirty martini though, would you?
I'm more of a dry gin martini kind of guy. Do you eat anything from jars?
If I've warmed it up. So, because I love my baked beans. I know you don't like tins, jars, all that lot. We've
What, you eat
established
beans from a jar?
Yeah. After I've emptied them into a saucepan, then heated them up and put them on some toast. They're still from... No, they're not a jar. What is a jar? What's the definition of a jar?
Are you joking?
Chris,
we've got bigger issues here. I need to tell Jordan
Christopher,
what a jar
or
is.
Christian.
A jar is a glass thing, like where you put jam. Like what jam
Oh,
is.
jam, yeah. I was emptying those in
You
the
don't know what
kitchen.
jar is?
Yeah, right. Chris. Hi, Chris. What school taught me, I'm bringing it back to the theme, isn't that good? Just fuck whatever people think. Who gives a flying fuck? I hope they're bleeping the swearing now, lest we get more complaints. But no,
Yeah.
Who cares, Chris? If you want to eat your pickles, is it pickles? Gherkins.
I think as long
Eat
as
them.
there's no pickle juice like,
Yeah, don't do the
going
drink-
anywhere,
Yeah.
like, and as long as it's not dripping on your partner.
I mean, with the drinking of the juice,
Yeah.
like the jars, eating from the jar, no qualms with that. But with the drinking of the juice, just put some alcohol in it. Have a dirty martini.
You can't say that.
Why?
Chris might
Drink responsibly.
Chris might be doing sober October. I mean,
We're in
dry
Jan-
January.
Oh, you mentioned something about dry January, didn't you?
What?
That January is the most depressing month, and yet so many people decide to do it
I
dry.
know, yeah, but I mean, I'm not judging them. It's
I am.
fine.
But they're probably judging me. That's Stella in the last episode. Bloody hell. Knocked me for 5.
Anyway, I hope that's kind of sorted your
Yeah,
issue there.
I just think do it.
Yes.
Lose a friend.
Do you want to read the next one or shall I?
No, you're on that
Okay.
shift today.
Hi, Jordan and Henry. This
Hello.
is from Amanda.
Right.
Huge fan, apparently, it says in brackets. I love the podcast, but I have some questions I'd love to find out more about following the podcast this week, please.
right.
Why did the Southans get banned from the Monte Carlo Hotel? None of your fucking business. Why has Jordan ever been
rude.
banned from anywhere?
Oh, no, but I was kicked out of Wetherspoons once because I was thanking someone for cleaning. Not in a patronising way.
You what?
So someone spilt their drink, and I was like, "Oh, clumsy bastard!" But then, as I was walking back up the stairs, this lady was cleaning it, like an employee, and I was like, "Oh, that's great, you're doing that," because someone could slip. And then the bouncer the guard came and said, "You need to go out." I was like, "What? I haven't said
What?
anything." I was
For saying it's
praising.
great
Yeah,
you're
I-
doing that because someone could slip.
I was probably appraising her more than her fucking manager, and yet I was removed. And then some nights in Smack
You've
in
been
Leamington
kicked
Spa.
out of Wetherspoon.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, and some nights in the nightclub.
Yeah, but I don't remember why I was kicked out of that. No violence. I'm not a violent person. Have you
Okay.
been banned from anywhere?
Only that Monte Carlo hotel, but we won't get there. And I was only a child, so I don't really count it as me, to be fair. I'm sure I'm still allowed. I don't think I've got like there's like a 10-year-old picture of Henry like mugshot behind the reception. Next they're asking lots of questions here, Amanda. Like
How many?
really-
How many do we have?
I hate bacon. Can I still eat a club sandwich? Yes, you can. You just
Yes.
eat it without the bacon.
Customizable.
Anyway, keep up the amazing work. Keep drinking Stella and laughing. Love you both loads. That's very sweet. Thank you,
People
Amanda.
love that image of you and me drinking Stella, don't they?
Yeah, someone made a graphic of us sat
Yes.
outside of the front lawn drinking Stella. It's wonderful. But thank you so much, Amanda. That's very sweet. And if anyone has any more submissions for next week, send them to, what's the email address again?
It's on screen now. Club sandwich.
Here. Right, should we eat some sandwiches?
Let's eat some sandwiches.
School. Have you brought your packed lunch with you?
Oh, yeah, I
today?
got the lunch box. Well, I got your lunch box because I've made the sandwich for you.
Shall we unveil our sandwiches?
Yes,
Why not?
we shall.
on
So,
then.
so picture the scene: the dinner lady's omnipresent, and we're in
Well,
the
actually, mine's a
lunchroom.
little bit different. Let's reveal.
Ooh.
3, 2, 1. So,
Cling
can
film.
I would just like to say out
Yes.
mine. Yeah, mine's more of what I might have been given to go from school to, if we were gone like a school trip.
Okay.
And I just remember the stench of cling film.
Oh.
And it being a very sort of simple sandwich, but like, and also it would be a ludicrously large amount of cling film. So it's more of a nostalgic thing like that for me. On yours,
Cling film. I can never work.
do you want to do some ASMR by the mic with the cling film?
Not really, no.
Okay.
But
Why is there money in this?
Right, let me explain. So the sandwich is a sandwich, but that's some money to go to the tuck shop.
I'm balling here.
Or go to the corner shop afterwards.
How much have I got?
Well, it is actually your money. So
You nicked this off me.
yeah, when we were moving, there's some coins and they were
Nice and
yours.
cold.
But then if you open a sandwich, because this is just, flimsy sandwich.
I don't flop my sandwich around like that.
But if this were in your pack up, it would get
This is
squashed.
so light. Is there anything in this?
Right, should I do mine first?
Yeah.
Right, so this is, your generic Joe sandwich. We don't even need to see the breadboard this episode because this is not going on it, and nor's that.
And I would always be in a brown paper bag with like an apple and then a Mars bar. What?
Is it literally just a ham sandwich?
Huh?
Or have you done something?
You find out.
Have you jazzed it up? I just hate cling film. It's
Yeah, I remember this. This is nostalgic for me. Watching you struggle to get into the sandwich. This would be if you're like on a school trip.
oh, and it's all soggy. like-
Yeah. I wanted to really give
Oh, it
you that.
smells nice though.
I want to give you that experience again. It's literally just a ham sandwich. It's a school special. I'm not convinced
Fucking
there's
great.
anything in this. It's
There is.
that light. The one that Jordan's given me. Let's have a look, shall we?
Well, when I ever got white bread at school, it was a treat.
A treat.
Because my mum and I, we used to variate the weeks. So it'd be 1 week white, 1 week wholemeal.
God, it's like bloody past the parcel.
What are you talking about? I've passed the cling film over here.
Is there anything in here?
Yes, darling. What?
Okay.
I put a lot of thought into this. You're my little kid. You're going to school. No crusts. It's sensory, Henry. Pom Bears. They're such good crisps.
Why?
They're an offer in Tesco.
What is that?
It's
Why is it so small?
It's like what you've done.
For listeners, I'm looking at a sandwich the size of approximately a bank card.
It's a bit bigger than that.
Crusts undone. It looks like
It's a ham sandwich. Could you open it
the
up?
bread has kind of like mushed into the filling.
Do you know, this is a tip for listeners, watchers. If you're having a ham sandwich, put some black pepper on the ham sandwich. It enhances. I know you can get peppered ham, but you can add your own pepper and it's great. How is it?
Yeah, it's quite something.
Yeah, but if you were little,
I love a pom bear, but this isn't called Club Crisps.
I know, but it's
called
part,
sandwich.
part of your lunch. But if you were little,
Abby found that one funny.
Abby's combusting behind the scenes. If you were little, that would
Yeah.
fill you up. We go, oh, miss, look what my mum's packed for me. Oh, she doesn't love you.
It's not going to fill you up.
Yeah, it will. You get
Anyway,
milk at
none of
school,
these are
don't you?
going on the breadboard,
No.
unfortunately. I
But
think
yeah.
school meals
School's out.
behind us.
Yeah, school's out.
God, we used to have on Mondays, we'd have one particular, the chef, that was his day off. Like, so we would have this local lady in, and some
it's
of
nice.
the food that came out of that kitchen was...
Did you ever?
Unsightly.
So you always had school dinners? Because I only ever had packed lunch because I was scared of the dinner offering.
Darling, I was at boarding school.
I could have had the dinners for free, but I just didn't want it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Should we wrap up?
Yeah, I'm not going to have a laughing fit this episode.
Aren't you?
No, people have already switched over
I
now.
think that was quite nice.
I'm Jordan Sanger.
You are
Hello.
enjoying that. You're eating that.
Yeah, it's a ham sandwich. I'm hungry.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Club Sandwich with me, Henry Southern.
And me, Jordan Sanger. Hello.
Hello.
No, and me, Jordan Sanger.
Can you do the next point?
There we go.
Or is it my job to do the full outro?
No, right. Subscribe and follow so you're the first to know of each new episode. Rate 5 stars and leave a glowing review. Follow us on all socials at Club Sandwich for TikTok and maybe Instagram by the time this is out. But at Club Sandwich Pod or at Club Sandwich, you can find it. You're not thick because you're listening to this genius podcast.
Or email us at clubsandwich@insanity.com. Oh gosh.
New series of Waterloo Road begins soon.
Why are you advertising that?
No, it could be a backhander. It's not for legal
Do you want
purposes.
a cameo on it?
Yeah, I will do that.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Next week's theme is the supernatural.
Ooh, ghosts, aliens. We're thinking about calling your mum.
Oh, we might call my mother.
Yeah.
She has a UFO story.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Yeah,
Look
see
forward to
you.
seeing you then.
See you.